So, yesterday, when I was talking about panic and anxiety that I had endured for 18 years, I learned some techniques that helped me work through the process of having the anxiety attack. And I'm not talking about an anxiety attack that just lasted for 15 minutes, whatever. We're talking they lasted for hours. Um, so it was really kind of tormenting, and it started at a movie theater. So at that point, every time I went to the movie theater, I would have a panic and anxiety attack, and that attack would last for as long as the movie played. And it wasn't until I felt relief when I left the theater. And of course, I'm 18, 19 years old, and what do you do for a date night on the weekend? Everybody kind of goes to the movie theater. And I'm stubborn, so I would just go, knowing full well that I was going to have an attack. But I'm stubborn, and I really didn't know how to tell anybody about what I was experiencing. I kind of suffered in silence because I really didn't know what was happening. So that's how it started, and it progressed to nighttime, trying to fall asleep. It progressed to camping. I loved camping. It progressed into pretty much all aspects of my life. I'd wake up in the middle of the night with a full blown panic attack, can't breathe, feeling like I was gonna die. But it wasn't until I started sitting with the feeling and figuring out what I was going to do to overcome or at least get through that attack. So I looked on the internet and found out that it's a matter of diverting your attention to something else. So I would count ceiling tile. I would go outside and count leaves on a tree. Anything that would kind of separate myself from feeling what I was feeling. Sometimes I'd get up and I'd pace in the middle of the night. Because it really does give you that feeling that you have to get out of there. You have to run, you have to walk, you have to do something. So I started practicing the counting the ceiling tiles, counting leaves, breathing, deep breathing, going to the bathroom and splashing cold water on your face, getting in the shower, alternating, cold water, hot water, cold water, hot water. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but these are some of the things that kind of knocked me out of that moment of the panic attack. So that's some things that you can try. But also going back to the fact that you are safe, you're not dying, you're not having a heart attack. And these things, when you speak them out and you give acknowledgement, it helps. Like, I would literally have to be like, my heart is really, really beating fast. I feel like I can't breathe right now. And once I acknowledged those feelings in my body, the panic attack would subside. And I want to go back to the whole drugs and alcohol thing. And I'm not talking about the prescriptions that your doctor has put you on. Please stay on them. I'm talking about alcohol and Mary Jane or devil's lettuce or whatever you want to call it. Those things also brought on the panic and anxiety attack. And those were the only two things that I absolutely stopped during this experience. I stopped drinking altogether. I stopped indulging because it didn't help me. It actually initiated an attack. So I stopped that. Like I said, when you stop those things, it allows you to start being able to feel And that's what your body needs to do. It needs to feel. You need to acknowledge what you're feeling. And when you acknowledge those things, it subsides. The other thing I did, which was very hard, and it took a while for me to be able to do that, it took several years, was to start asking for help within my family and friend community. I would have a panic attack and I would have to say, hey, I'm having an anxiety attack right now. I feel like I can't breathe. My heart is racing. Can you please talk to me? And of course, they were like, sure. What do you want to talk about? And I would be like, anything. I don't care what you talk about. I want you to talk, and I want to listen to your words. I want to listen to the tone of your voice. I want to listen. And when I would focus on what they had to say and listen to them, then that also helped. And then at that point, I wasn't embarrassed anymore. I didn't feel alone. I realized that nobody was going to judge me for what I was going through. And that was so monumental because I wasn't alone. And the more I brought people into that experience with me, the more I realized that I really was not the only one. Other people would go, oh my gosh, that happens to me too. I go through the same thing. So I built deeper relationships with people because they were experiencing what I was experiencing. And that helped. So I hope today's session helped. And thank you. See you tomorrow.